Today is Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 43, Week 2.
This episode was titled Lovable Curmudgeon, spoken by Owen. Surprise.
So thought that was about
Gabler. Yes.
Had that very, very wrong.
Yep, we'll get to that in just a little bit here. Kicking off, we're back at the Baka camp after that last tribal council. It is night 3, and this is going to be a 2-day episode.
And we got 90 minutes. Like it.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Good insights into the tribes. We're back at that Baka camp, and Owen says, I got 2 things. Sorry I got worked up and anxious. So maybe he had a moment at tribal council we didn't get to see. I guess that's what that's referring to. And then he adds 2 more things to his first thing. He says, thank you for keeping me and for being who I thought you were. The wording of that, it just seems unnecessary. And then the wording of it seems a little off.
But they're his words, so you don't get to say they're unnecessary. Because
okay.
They were his words.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Elie says that this was a trust exercise, and Gabler has a little look at me moment. He says, I didn't play my idol. And Elie is quick. She is on top of it. She said, yes, you didn't. Definitely grooming him to be an alliance member. And he says, I'm very hungry. Let's fry some worms tomorrow.
Yuck.
And then the storm hits. And it didn't look to me like they had a roof. So they were basically huddling with each other to ride out the storm through the night.
I can't even imagine.
Well, they're going to tell us because we're right back there with them on morning 4. And Owen's out there trying to tease the embers to come back alive for the fire. And Sami says, that was a rough one. We definitely need a roof. We gotta change this roof situation.
Today, he said.
Yeah, Gabler says that was actually scary.
Yeah, and he's not feeling well at all. He's weak. He's nauseous.
He tells us at this point that he has never pushed this hard in all his endeavors. And he's never dry out here. And yeah, that he's nauseous and feeling ill.
I'm thinking, is he going to quit and there won't even be a vote off? Or where's this going?
Owen, he tells us Gabler appears to be running out of steam here on day 4.
And Sami tells him, there's a lot more to go. Can't give out now.
Gabler he ends up laying down while the rest of the tribe's working on the roof. And that's where that pain face moment from the next time on Survivor came. But it wasn't, I don't think it was much of anything. So they kind of pumped it up.
You mean you made a big deal out of nothing?
Could be. Over to the Vesi tribe on day 4. Dwight is searching for advantages and Jesse's on lookout. Jesse tells us that Jeanine and Noelle had paired up and Cody and Nneka had paired up. And, well, he's in that pair too. But Dwight's out on his own, so he's been trying to build a partnership with him. And Jesse invites Dwight to be his island wife. What did you think of his pitch? He was going to make a ring and everything.
Okay, well, that was maybe a bit too far, but they seem to both enjoy it and each other. And Dwight thought that was going to be a really good connection all the way to the end.
He says that he trusts Jesse, but in reality, he's good with everyone. Because as a junior journalist, he had developed this ability to go up and talk with everyone. And he had done that with everyone in his tribe. Well, except for Cody. Cody didn't really want to talk game talk at all.
That's kind of cute because I'm a junior. I'm a junior journalist.
Well, he was.
Well, I know,
He
but
had
it
some
just
really impressive
it
interviews.
just sounded
as
funny.
a junior. Those are his words.
Junior journalist.
Yes.
No, I'm sure he did a good job, and it was an awesome experience. But
So
it
we
struck me as funny.
Hear
the way
this
he
a couple
said it.
times. First, Dwight says no game talk with Cody, and then Justine mentions that
Yeah.
later on too. Jesse tells us Cody's just Cody. He's just fine with him. And Cody, what's he up to? Well, he's looking to be first to jump off that there rock. Mm-hmm. He reckons no one's jumped off of there yet, so he's going to do it first.
Jesse's quite pleased to hear that he's not talking strategy with the other people. It's like, good, because he's in my alliance. Don't want him talking strategy with you guys.
Jesse's fine with Cody. He's not worried about him at all. He tells us he's good with everyone but Justine.
Yeah, she really freaks him out. He just kept saying that over and over. Oh man, she scares me. See?
I don't think we really get to the heart of it until later, and we'll talk about that. That there's this one point where he really shines a light on, I think, what unnerved him the most. But right now we're subjected to Justine talking about spiders.
She's the one freaking out about the spiders. Yeah.
And
the spider webs.
Being a little bit of a girly girl. Her nails are so disgusting. And she went out of her way in her bio to tell us about how she wasn't a girly girl, right?
Well, the big red flag for me there was her telling people who were doing things how to do them.
They did show
I'll
one clip.
move that further over here because it'll be better for it, which is okay, but a lot of people don't like to be directed when they're the only one doing the work.
And then Jesse sums it up by telling us that, well, Dwight's got no vote, so I'm in the driver's seat here.
'Tis true.
Over to the Coco tribe, still on day 4. We got Ryan taking the tribe through a workout, stretches and sets, and he's making sure everybody does their 3 sets because he's a personal trainer.
Fairly serious about it.
Yeah, well, he is a personal trainer. He tells me.
But
so
they gotta want you to be very serious about it.
He's making sure they get their money's worth.
I see.
And Karla tells us, well, we've got the Women's Alliance and James, so we pretty much got a lock on this. But she's got an extra hook because she's got an alliance with Gio and Ryan. At least they think that she's with them. Mm-hmm. And then we get to see a good segment with Gio and Ryan being buddies. And, hey, Gio's got some skills. He's finding almonds because he had experience doing that as a kid at his grandparents' house.
Well, and you forgot to talk about Ryan, the chiropractor.
The cracking backs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, that can be helpful out there, too.
And Gio gives us a little more of his life story about how his parents basically told him he was going to have to leave, and he had to, when he came out to them when he was 18, and just some more about his history of struggle in life. And he was forced to be homeless, but he found that he benefited from a focus on the positive, and he's not going to let anyone get in his way as he heads for his survivor goal.
And then they found papaya.
Papaya tree, yeah.
Yay. Not a lot of them didn't look like, but hey, I imagine that was very yummy getting a couple of big papaya out there.
The same with the almonds. Those things are so hard to get to. It's crazy how protected those are. Those and what else? Cashews have a huge protective outer layer too. Anyway, Gio tells us that he and Ryan work well together, and as far as Gio's concerned, Ryan's his new brother. Ryan's good with that. He said he didn't have a brother, so that works for him.
Yep.
And they'll be a good duo, at which point I thought, I think we might have a problem with survivor math for controlling alliances there. But, yeah, that's a place to start from.
That is a common thing. Back over at Vesi, Noelle's switching out her artificial leg, and Cody's very curious and asking lots of questions, and she's answering his questions for him.
And we find out it's because he's had some history. His good friend in high school ended up losing his leg and then eventually lost his life to cancer. So a little more of the Cody backstory and how the LIVIN became kind of his motto for life.
Yeah, and that made a lot of sense to me. That happens, I think, with a lot of people who lose someone young, at and they want to make sure they get all they can out of life because their friend didn't get to. I don't think that's uncommon at all. So
That was a nice tribute to Devin there too.
yeah,
His friend that he lost.
yeah.
Bouncing back to Baka, still on day 4. Getting to see a lot of tribe life, and Owen tells us that he is the junior deputy water boy, ever the lovable curmudgeon his friends have described him as.
Yeah, you could have knocked me over with a feather with that. I was like, really? I didn't.
Owen's the
I just
curmudgeon.
didn't
Yeah.
expect that.
We figured we had that one all dialed in, didn't
Oh
we?
yeah.
And he's spilling water on his pants and a running commentary. He's resenting
Talking to himself constantly.
doing this work for his tribe mates.
You think he was really talking to himself, or he was just
Yes.
talking because the camera was focused on him, and he felt a need to say something because they're recording him while he's walking slowly.
He also tells us that he will be very annoyed if the others are out searching for an idol. Cut to
While
Elie.
he's doing the work.
Cut to Elie searching for an idol or an advantage, which it turns out the camera showed us she missed.
Yes.
She was so close.
She was just right there.
Jeanine and Elie are talking, and they're wondering if the guys even have a plan.
Yep. And Elie tells us that the 2 younger guys are just like her children, and that
It was funny how she had worked all that out.
Sammy's the youngest, but he's less of a problem. But
More
Owen
independent.
just needs more attention.
Yeah, so she's telling Jeanine, I'm more worried about Owen at the merge because he'll be more work to manage him. That's how we got off on her children tangent. That was
Yeah.
funny. I like that.
And that they just don't even see any evidence that the guys are playing.
Cut to the guys.
Uh-huh.
There's no evidence that they're playing the game until at the end.
Not in front of you, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're just playing goofy music in the background while they talk. And
Sammy says, I think the girls are underestimating us.
yep.
And you know, we need to stick together. And I like that he clarified it, that he's not for men with the men and women with the women. It's just that's the way it is. Those 2 women happen to be extremely close, and he thinks, oh well, then the 3 of us need to stay together.
We'll
regardless.
look
So-
out for each other. 1, 2, 3. We
Exactly.
got it, Sammy says.
Well, we'll see, because I'm not sure that Gabler wouldn't go with the girls.
Yes, in a bit of foreshadowing, Sami also commented and said it would be stupid for the 3 men to lose to them, at which point you're thinking, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see something stupid happen.
Yeah, I thought, no, Elie seems to be managing him pretty well, at least from what they've shown us, so that gave me pause.
On to day 5, we're at the Immunity Reward Challenge. It's a combo, and it's a big one. We've seen this one before with the big
Oh, yeah.
water snake.
Oh, I thought you meant the reward with the fishing kits, but
Oh, yeah. Well,
That too.
see that all the time, yeah.
yes, but that's a biggie when they're not given any food.
Can be. Absolutely can be. And
If
we
they
saw
can catch fish.
Jonathan deliver, but most tribes struggle even with the great gear. So it's another big challenge. They've got to dive in from a floating platform, swim up to the cage. They've got to all 5 get there. And then they
over.
climb in, and then they work to get the big 400-pound waterlogged snake out.
Untied and up and over.
Yeah.
That 400 pounds for something that's sitting in the water, because it's probably soaking up more water all the time.
Yeah. And it's got 6 tiles tied to it. So they've got it does float, even though it's got all that, even though it's that big and heavy and somewhat waterlogged, it does float. So that helps getting it from the water to the beach. But then they've got to
Yeah.
drag it up the beach,
Yep.
and then pull it under an obstacle through the sand as it gets, I'm sure, heavier
And then lift
harder
it
to
up and
move.
put it on top of the.
Yeah, lift it up, put it up on a table,
Oh,
and then
jeez.
untie 6 tiles. 3 of them are blank, 3 of them have numbers, which are a combination. Then they've got to find the right combination and open the lock, which gives them the final puzzle piece that they need. And then they've got to assemble one of those standing jigsaw puzzles of the Survivor logo,
Yep.
which is really tricky because those pieces aren't light. And you got to make sure to get that one out of the bag, too,
Yep.
which turns out to be somewhat important.
You know what was interesting is Baka stayed in the lead all the way.
Mm-hmm.
They never gave it up. And Coco was right behind them, and Vesi stayed behind the entire challenge.
Yep. And the first reward, there were 2 rewards because there's going to be 2 immunities again, was a complete fishing kit. And the second reward is the small fishing kit. And Vesi sat out Noelle, and Coco sat out Karla, which was a surprise to me.
You were shocked. You just knew
I
they
really was thinking that Karla would probably be able to lift more than Geo would.
Well, that's why we chose them. You and I chose them to lose.
Yes.
Yes, we
Figured
thought
with Geo in there,
last.
they were going to struggle.
But we were
And
wrong.
Geo didn't do well. Nneka also didn't do well for Vesi. They both end up falling off the cage when they were trying to get the snake, and they don't end up, neither one of them ends up being much help getting the snake out of the cage. And then Nneka gets featured as struggling. And I went back and watched the challenge while we were setting up and getting ready. And, I think they did her a little dirty. There's one point where Vesi had finally gotten their snake up to the beach, and then it shows Nneka walking, and she's not helping pull. But what I had missed initially was Cody said, because she was working from the back of the snake, and the rest of the tribe were at the front of it trying to get it up the beach. And Cody says, ask her to come up and help them, that they needed help in the front. So really, when she was walking like that, and then it cut to Noelle's reaction of, oh, she's just walking, she's resting, it was kind of what they were conveying visually, and frustration that Noelle was expressing as she was watching them. She was walking up to the front so that she could
couldn't
help.
hear what they were saying, I'm sure, that far away. That he had
Talking about
asked
Noelle.
her
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to come up to the front. She couldn't hear that, I'm sure.
But Nneka had a hard time getting into the cage where the snake is initially tied up, where they got to get it out. They didn't show her helping too much, being a benefit to her tribe in getting it out of the cage. And then she struggled with other portions of it, seemed to be gassed out. And come to the end, when they finally did get it up onto the table and solved their combination lock so they could start working on the puzzle, she's got the puzzle piece in the bag, and she just drops it as she's walking up there and completely forgets about it. Dwight sees it at the end and mentions it. But
So that's what I still don't think they would have made it, even if they'd had that piece. But
it would have been quite the comeback. But yeah, she was having some tough times. It's like that. It must have really took it out of her, because at one point you're looking at the puzzle piece and going, hey, that side clearly is on the outside. It's a rounded part, so it's got to be the edge. But she's rotating it around, listening to someone direct her, rotating it around, and she moves the outside rounded edge into the center and tries to fit it in the puzzle.
Well, my first thought was she's so gassed her brain isn't working properly.
Yeah.
And Dwight should take over.
But it didn't play out that way.
And Cody's not afraid to direct them. We know that from the other challenge where he told them what to do while he was, observing. And I thought if Dwight had stepped up and taken over, which he did, but, the others could have helped, like, hey, hand Dwight this piece. Or
This was one where the puzzle just really did not help the team, the tribe that was lagging. So
No,
they
not at all.
continued to lag all the way through it until it was over.
And they seemed to do okay putting it. They did get a lot of it put together. But they were just, I think they were just overall too far behind.
They got pieces in place for sure, but that missing piece, it sounded like when they were talking about it at the end that it was
That's
part of the
what was
reason they were
holding 'em
struggling
up.
on
Okay.
on what to us was the right side of their puzzle, because that was where that missing piece was potentially going to go.
Okay.
So until they got that out of the bag, they just weren't going to get things to come together on that side. But yeah, they
well,
were
that's unfortunate, but
having a hard time. So Vesi is headed off to tribal council, but not before Jeff gets to ask Cody about that a little bit. And Cody says, yeah, they're 20 steps into camp, and it's going to be the hunters versus the hunted, that things are going to change.
well, yeah, first time to tribal. You know the tribe dynamics are going to. They have to now.
And Noelle tells us, she gets a brief cameo there where she gets to say that Nneka must go if we're going to be a strong tribe, which usually tells you that Nneka is not going to go. Not that they don't make it interesting,
Yep,
but
that's
it does
what it
pan
said
out
to
that
me,
way.
but-
Yeah, it does pan out that way, seems more times than not.
And no vote for Dwight.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, how scraped up was Jesse's belly?
Yeah. Was that Jesse or was that Cody?
I meant Cody.
Okay.
I said Jesse, but I meant Cody. And somebody's knees were that way too. Was it
Cassidy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I picture where her knees were scraped up badly. But wow, didn't notice if he did it during that challenge or if it happened prior to that and he just had his shirt on and we didn't see it. But that looked like it hurt.
Definitely the challenges are taking their tolls on them.
Yes, absolutely.
So we get back to the Vesi camp there, and we see Cody and Jesse talking, and Cody says Nneka was atrocious. Her performance was horrible today.
However, she's in our alliance.
So yeah.
And she's a very positive person. They like that about her. And so I don't think they put much thought into getting rid of her at all.
Everybody was talking about how much she helped out at camp, too. That seemed to be a big feather in her favor.
So, and that's all the things that do make a difference when people are making a decision. So.
Well, and Jeanine they had decided that Nneka wasn't pulling her weight and she needed to go, but they also commented that she was good at camp.
Yep.
Nneka knows something's up because she tells us there's just no eye contact for her with some of her tribe members.
The girls really didn't talk to her at all
when
she came out of the water.
So she's hoping her alliance with Cody and Jesse's going to stand up.
Well, that's why you build relationships, is you hope if you don't do so well, that's going to get you through.
Yep. An alliance can make a difference, and they're essentially a tribe of 5 since Dwight had lost his vote. So 3 is enough to have the majority. Over to Baka, and Jeanine was telling us that it was amazing to win. And Gabler's talking about how great they did on the puzzle. And then we get a little of the backstory of Elie. She has ADHD and dyslexia, and she's telling us about how hard that was for her as a child. And everyone was always telling her how dumb she was. She didn't feel like, except for her family, except for her parents, that her future was in question.
Yeah.
And doing good on the puzzle today helped her feel like she was smart enough. So that was a big life moment for her.
She talked like the teachers were cruel to her, but, truthfully, to me, it's on the teachers if they don't recognize there's a problem. Because they should be able to catch some of that. And so, but I guess they can't with everyone. But
Ellie's trying to convince Gabler to tie a rope on that Hawaiian swing. She's just got the sense that he's going to goof up and lose it.
Did you say swing or sling?
I might have said swing.
Oh, okay.
Hawaiian sling, yeah.
It sounded like swing, but I thought, no, he didn't say that. Yeah, he's not going to listen to that. He's been spearfishing before.
Cue the struggle music as he's not quite sure how to use a Hawaiian sling. Yeah.
Well, that was obvious when they showed him trying to wrap it around his elbow or something, or his
Trying to get more power, double it
forearm
up.
and-
Yeah.
Well, he could tell right off. That did not work, and it didn't make you look real bright either. So,
Yeah, the Hawaiian sling versus a spear gun are two vastly different.
now I've never
things.
used one, so I don't know exactly how they work personally, but I would never have thought they would work the way he was trying to use it. So,
Yeah, well, I think maybe them not showing us him bringing back some fish is what we can conclude that didn't go as well as he hoped.
and Elie and Jeanine seem to have already let go of the Hawaiian sling because they seem to think he's going to lose it.
I like how they were focused on trying to figure out if his immunity idol had expired.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
That did
So the
surprise me.
semantics are super important. Yes. Is it over the course of 2 tribal councils or him having to visit 2 tribal councils?
Well, we knew because we had slow-moed it and read it, but
And Paul has it on the roster in the extras there over in the, what did Paul say that was called? The hamburger, the 3 stripes, the horizontal lines where you get to the extra information. Yeah.
Whatever.
So you click over there and you can see
remember.
what it said. So yes, we knew that it was Gabler going to 2 tribal councils, not just 2 tribal councils, because they were excited that maybe he would no longer be protected.
I don't know why I thought Owen would be very observant, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't think it's good anymore." And I thought, I really expected him to know what it had said and have retained that, and I don't know why.
Well, Elie had said the same thing. She didn't think that it was going to be viable anymore either.
Well, I know, but I expected him.
You
to
just
know
expected
for-
more from Owen?
I don't know why, but anyway.
Well, it was enough that Jeanine felt she needed to check Gabler's bag, and I thought what you were going to say was that he would stay on watch for Jeanine, but he didn't, and Gabler snuck right back up there and almost caught her. So Owen wasn't doing his job as a lookout.
Yeah, he was over
But
there by the fire or something.
They did
but-
confirm that Gabler going to tribal council 2 times, not just 2 tribal
Yep.
councils.
Yep. They
So-
weren't happy to find it out, so that tells me they're already wanting to get rid of him.
Angling for that potential, yes.
But I was kind of impressed they were willing to go through his bag to find it.
Yeah, that was funny when Jeanine explaining it. I would never do this in real life. I don't do anything
Yeah,
like
very
this.
honest.
But out here, it comes easily.
It's like, well, I would want to
It's
clarify
necessary.
that too, but yeah, I would do it too.
Yeah.
Which the same thing. I get that. That isn't something I would do in normal life, but I would certainly do it on the game of Survivor. No problem.
Back to Vesi. I think got to get them ready for tribal council, the red tribe there. And Justine's thinking about a split vote because she's thinking that her and Noelle also have Jesse. And so just in case Nneka plays the shot in the dark and is immune, they'll have a vote headed Cody's way to get rid of him, not knowing that Jesse is not on board with this plan. But that was interesting that they had thought it out that far. I didn't follow it at first. I had to go back and look at that and figure out what it was she was saying.
And she didn't seem to be 100% sure that Jesse was going to be with them either. So, which of course he wasn't.
Cody and Jesse are focused on getting rid of Justine
And that's when Jesse brings up again, he's scared of Justine.
because, and this is it, I think this is the kind of the number one thing, is that she came up to him and said, "Oh yeah, no, I have a good liar face. You can't tell when I'm lying."
Yeah, I'm a great liar.
And I'm with Jesse. Why would you tell me that?
Why would you tell him that?
What did you hope to gain? Were
You
you
won't know if I'm lying to you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. I can fool you.
in a game with so little trust? Why are you going to squander
And
it
right
that way?
before the vote. It's like,
No. We don't know when she said that. we don't know that was just before the vote. In fact, it seemed like it was sometime previous there to day 5.
Well, I'm not certain of that. That's where it was shown to us. So I'm taking that it was real time.
Oh, okay. All right.
So there you go. Oh, hi, Dad.
So here's the other step, I guess, where Justine really lost it for me, is she tells Jesse, how do we know we can trust you? That was just such immense poor gameplay.
Because you could tell if I was lying. But anyway, Cody, Jesse, and Nneka decide to vote Justine. And then Cody immediately wanders off.
I like right before he does that, though, he's asking, how do you spell it? Is it an E on the end?
Yeah. That was cute.
Yeah, what were you saying? He goes searching for an idol?
For an idol. And he said he hasn't looked for one because I really think it's the kiss of death. But you're going to look for it now? And I thought, okay, that's not so bad. But then he finally finds an advantage, but it's a beware advantage.
Yeah.
Why would you open that just before tribal? I'm with Jesse now.
He tells us why.
Didn't you watch the last 2 seasons?
He is all about the LIVIN. He can't not open it.
That's nuts. Why couldn't he put it back somewhere, hide it, stick it back, come back to it after the vote?
That ain't LIVIN, so...
Yeah, well, neither is losing your vote, but...
What did you think about how this one was set up? How he had to get a bead that they had given unique beads.
That was good. That was really good.
On everyone's bag, and so he's got to collect it, and then if he does, it'll power up and be an immunity idol. But until he has those, he also has lost his vote.
But that's only going to work for season 43 and 44. After that, people will know about it. And ain't nobody giving anybody anything of theirs ever again. So, but I like it that it's something new.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult with all the fans out there that want to keep their
like he
souvenirs.
said,
Yeah,
these beads are
absolutely.
gold to the super fans. This is not going to be easy.
But actually,
he had some help.
Yeah, he did.
So he explains the dilemma to Jesse, and that he's got to get those beads.
Specific beads, he said.
Yeah.
Had to be specific ones. And they had to willingly, every single one of them had to willingly give it.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't sneak them or...
Jesse gave him the idea, too, about the hat. So that's where he came up with the idea to put them on the hat.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. I like how they cut to Jesse, too, at that point. And he's basically saying, he just opened it.
That's exactly how we felt, Jesse.
Yeah.
He just opened it. It's a beware advantage.
And so he tells Nneka, and now Jesse and Nneka need to help Cody get those beads.
Yeah.
I love this segment. This was great how it played out.
Jeez. It was nerve-wracking.
He slow played it. Hey, I think I might wear my hat tonight. You think I should wear my hat tonight?
Well, you know, it was really
maybe I should decorate
interesting where they got down to the last person, and she was like, "Oh no, I love my bracelets. I made bracelets out of mine.
Yeah.
No, I love my bracelets."
Dwight unwittingly seemed to be helping too. He's like, "That's so selfish. What do you need two bracelets for?"
I was surprised at that.
Yeah, that he said that. It seemed a little off-putting.
Well, that's not something to say in Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're being selfish. It's like, okay,
but really,
just before the vote off.
That was totally Jesse and Nneka saving Cody. Because they made all that possible.
Yeah, because Dwight didn't know.
They sold it. Yeah.
But that was a nice twist, Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Very cool. And of course, we don't know if he's got them all because Noelle didn't seem on board.
Yeah, we were guessing on the way to Tribal, and we thought he was going to have them. That she gave in, but I thought they're just not gonna show us. They don't want us to know till Tribal Council.
All right, let's head into Tribal Council there on night 5. We get another beautiful shot. I love when they do those zoomed in shots of the moon.
how about those zoomed in shots on those skeletal hands? On
Yeah, the skeleton hand torches were cool. I didn't notice that
I
with
didn't
Baka.
either.
Maybe they're different.
They probably were. No, they're probably all the same. We just were
Just missed
taking
the
a note
detail.
or doing something and just
Yeah.
missed it. But that was pretty cool. I like those.
You know, that was a nice touch from Cody too, because he gets the first question from Probst about the whole, what was it like getting back to camp and realizing you had to go at each other, which was a bit of a duplicate question from that he had asked him at the challenge in a way. But anyway, Cody worked in that he had learned how to make that hat from the uncles, which that's in Hawaii. That's they call the extended family the aunts and the uncles, and who are passing down.
And Probst seemed pretty impressed that he said, "You mean you weaved that?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. And Justine said that she needed a hat. She had realized that she needed one. Now, you think that was a setup, or because it worked perfect? How do you think Cody handled it, though?
I didn't think he handled it that well myself.
If you survive, I'll make you one.
Yeah. I thought that was pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what might happen on
Yes.
Survivor. But
Justine tells us she's thinking it's a 2-2-2. And she also, with the alliances, so she's not aware of what's really going on. And that she tells us, yet another person telling us that she had no strategy talk with Cody.
Mm-hmm. And that neither Dwight nor, and probably Noelle either then, if that's the case. But certainly music to Jesse's ears.
And we get a little talk about Dwight's no vote and how he had shared that. So Probst used that to ask the question. What do you think about people sharing everything?
I like Jesse's answer.
Yeah, the trust currency.
For him, that he wanted to. It was a way to be authentic with people.
He understood it because he did something similar.
Hopefully, they would be authentic as well. And so I thought, oh, perfect answer, Jesse. I liked it anyway. And Noelle tells us nobody's sharing if they've found any advantages or idols out there. We don't know of any. There may not even be any in the game.
You should probably be worried if you don't know.
Yeah. that was my thought.
Doesn't
mean they're not out there. And the fact that you don't know
doesn't mean there's not any. It just means you don't know. Yeah. I liked when Nneka got the comment from Probst, or the question about the people's tendency to overshare, and she ended up talking about how passionate the Nigerian fans were when they were watching and talking about people oversharing and making those mistakes. Yeah. We know what that's like.
I like that Noelle was saying, well, no one person here deserves to go home, but I want to keep a strong tribe. I don't want to keep coming back here. So I kind of like that she didn't, even though Nneka knows that they want her out and that's how they feel, but at least she didn't point a finger at her during tribal, because that would just hurt her more if it is Justine leaving and then she's on her own.
Yep, Jesse ends up commenting on that too, that classic question of alliance versus strength in the tribe.
Yep.
What's going to win out?
Yeah, and everybody does have emotions, even if you're trying not to put it into the game that you're playing. It does happen.
Time to vote.
Yay!
And we see a vote get cast for Nneka. So they showed us Noelle casting her vote for Nneka, and they showed Nneka casting her vote for Justine.
Yep, so those were a wash.
And they made a point of showing the note that Dwight got. So he had to walk up there too just to see a thing that said, you had no vote, go sit down. And then they show Cody go up there, but they don't show us anything. So we still don't know at this point. Did he get the last beat or not?
I think we kind of know at this point, but...
Okay.
But yeah, it hadn't been confirmed.
Maybe you did. I didn't. I wasn't sure. And I noted the difference. So, okay, so they're keeping it a mystery.
Right, as long as they can. Then the vote for Cody crops up.
Oh yeah, so so no advantages were played, no idols were played.
You were surprised when that came up.
Well, I thought Cody might do something, but he kept it for himself.
It actually stayed pretty straightforward. The three of them did vote for Justine.
Yep.
Everybody knew Dwight didn't have a vote, so it doesn't matter what you want, really. Got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think Jesse made the right decision for him. He played his game, regardless of what Dwight wanted, because that could have come back to bite him later on if he hadn't voted Justine out for sure.
Yeah. Where do you think you got a better chance versus Justine, who's told you she's got a good liar face? And Cody's also been in your ear saying, yeah, let's get rid of that salesperson because, man, are they good liars. So Cody planted that seed. Justine watered it.
Confirmed it.
Yeah, and it grew, and so Jesse was clear. Yeah, so ends up with...
They're coming after Nneka, so she's pretty clear.
Yeah, three votes, and Justine is out.
It's me or you.
I do not have a USB now. 3
votes, and you're out.
Yes.
So
Dwight turned to Jesse.
Yeah. I remember that.
Dwight turned to Jesse and said, "You?" Ask him you, and Jesse said yes. And then Dwight said, "We'll talk about it later." Okay. I don't know. Not. Dwight, you got no juice.
What are you going to do, Dwight?
Completely out of the loop.
You're going to go join Noelle.
You better find a way to get in Jesse and Cody's good graces.
Makes no sense, Dwight. Yeah. Come on.
So what'd you think overall about the episode? What do you think about that 90 minutes and all that tribe time?
Loved 90 minutes. Loved the tribe time.
Yes.
I loved the outcome.
I'm with you.
Loved it all. I'm sorry you lost your USB.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see Justine go.
Pretty impressive to see how they worked it out. And Cody's got some definite luck on his side.
Yeah.
So it would have went really weird if they had been 2-2. If we'd been in another one of those 2-2 vote situations and looking at drawing
that
rocks.
Kind of stupid luck.
Yes, well.
It's like, that was just.
Don't you get the sense that he's had quite a bit of that?
Yeah. Maybe he does have an angel up there.
When you're that impetuous.
So
when it's just like,
looking
do
out
it.
for you, darling.
Do it.
But I like him. I do. I like him so much better than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
But he is impetuous, and, I would still be just that little leery of him. But he seems to be, those three seem to have stayed loyal.
Well, clearly they did this time. They got a lock on it.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for Dwight to go. Now, Dwight's got his vote back going forward, but what good's it going to do at this point? Yeah, he's in the minority alliance.
Not unless, somebody does something so egregious that Jesse would go back and side with Dwight and Noelle then. But I would be a little afraid to do that because I don't think Dwight's ever going to trust him again now.
CBS has got all those 30-minute shows, those throwaways that they do, so many different ones that they cycle through. They could pair it up with Survivor that's still getting good ratings, and we could get these 90-minute ones. That should be the standard, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, I'll pitch it to the executives.
Yeah, right.
Next time on Survivor, somebody, maybe James seemed to have a birthday hat on at Coco.
Yeah, I think it was James.
Is having a birthday because they're singing.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So they're singing, and since he has that little, I don't know, crown thing, hat, whatever on his
leaves,
head.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves with a flower in the front.
Him,
yeah,
yes.
Or he made. Who knows?
That I assumed it was his.
You can actually do that now, You can sing Happy Birthday and you don't have to pay anyone. You don't have to pay ASCAP for it. It's in the public domain now.
Oh, well, even better.
Yeah, I imagine that's part of why we heard that. And then we see Karla scampering away like she's gone to find an advantage.
Okay.
And then Cassidy tells us that everything's good and honky-dory there until it's time to slit throats.
Yep. We're building our community. But at least she's being realistic. You got to slit throat sometime.
Yeah.
Slit or be slit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and over at Vesi, Dwight's talking to Noelle and telling her, I trusted Jesse. And And then they start talking about, Dwight's talking about having him sleep on the sofa, and Jesse's like, I'll sign the divorce papers.
Yeah. That's
It's
done.
okay.
Dwight's got no juice in that tribe right now.
Yep.
So he's got to hope they can hang on. He can hang on for the merge, or he's fodder to go.
Well, for right now, the line has been drawn.
It's alliance over strength. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't really expect that to change, but you never know in the game of Survivor. We go over to Baka, and Sami is spilling the beans.
Mm-hmm. They looked in your bag,
Gabler.
bro. Dude. Bruh.
No, bro. He
Brah?
said bro. And then Gabler says to Owen, we've got to get her out. She's next.
Because they cut to Elie, right? They cut to Elie, just a scene of Elie
I did
when
think
Sami
they were,
said that. So they're implying it was Elie, even though it was
Jeanine that went in, but
Right.
I think he will feel way more betrayed by Elie, because she's been,
grooming him.
grooming him and flattering him,
Right.
and oh no, we wouldn't vote for you, and so all that. So that, I think that's going to make him want to go for her.
He marches to the beat of his own metal drummer, he does.
No, he was just manipulated again by Sami. It's like he is led fairly easily, at least from what they're showing us.
Well, it's always hard to know who to trust when you're out there in that
Absolutely,
game.
100%.
I like Justine's attitude on her final words there. She realized she was hoodwinked by Jesse.
Yep.
And she did say that she was leaving happy, though. She had got to have that Survivor experience.
Well,
so,
good.
Leaving with a smile.
I'm happy with that too.
Good stuff. How about a JSFL update?
All right. There were 22 people who lost their USB.
Which stands for Ultimate Survivor Bonus, which is the largest bonus in our fantasy league. So if you're able to guess who wins that season, you get that 24-point bonus.
That's right. Before the season airs, you have to guess it then.
I will not be getting a 24-point
You
bonus
will not.
in JSFL this season.
Yep, that's a goner. But at least you can start thinking about who you want. On the one opportunity to choose another one for lesser.
Which comes up
Points.
at the merge.
After the
Okay,
merge.
so 22 people lost their USB.
And 51 people lost a safe point. 15 people gained a vote off point. 2 people are tied in first place.
Wow, already
Yeah,
narrowed to
that's-
2, huh?
Yeah, that's unusual this this early on.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
Doesn't usually narrow down that quickly, but 2 people are tied. So the side challengers with 10 points, Jeremiah's in first. With 9, Chris. 8 is Justin, Nikki, Parker, Rebecca, Robert, and Stacy. And
Okay.
with 7 points, Cold Mike.
So he did not get a vote off and lost a safe point
Yep.
to land him in the basement. Tough week on
a
week 2.
3-point week. So that's how the stats stand.
Gotcha.
And neither one of us got the vote off correct. As we said, we went with
We
Gio.
thought Coco was going to lose and Gio was going to bite it.
Yep.
Oh, man, 2 great episodes starting off this season. Looking forward to the next one. And certainly looking forward to hearing what the other superfans thought about this one. Joanne and I have covered the big broad strokes in the recap. Come Saturday, we do our listener feedback show, and that's when it's your chance to sound off on what you thought about the second episode, how you think the castaways doing, whose star is shining bright, and who might be on their way out. We look forward to hearing all of that. The voicemail line is 206-350-1547, toll-free 844-643-8737. The email is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can record your own audio. It's usually how you get the best quality. You sneak off somewhere quiet and record record it yourself and send it, and then we'll work that up into the show. If you're not comfortable calling or recording your own, you can always write it up and send it in the email. We're looking for all of those contributions to be in the 3-minute range so we can fit everybody in. We had a fantastic listener feedback show last week. Looking forward to another good one here. So I'm excited to see what other folks thought about our second episode and all this cool tribe time and how it played out and the exciting Beware Advantage luck that Cody had, all that. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're all talked out.
Have a good one.